Alright, guys, moving right along to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Lamonta Benson, who asked me to do a story centered around one character of the Thunderbolt, of the new incarnation of Jim Zub's Thunderbolts. That being Persuasion, which is the daughter of Zebediah Kilgrave, aka the Purple Man. But as an added bonus, I kind of did some thinking. I was like, you know what, this story kind of works a little better if we had the full Thunderbolts. So here we are with Thunderbolts, A Study in Purple. So a Thunderbolts Study in Purple is a set during the current, as of right now, as of this recording, the current state of Marvel Comics, where we have basically the Thunderbolts. Got tripped up on my words. I'm sorry. I'm tired. The Thunderbolts, who are sanctioned by Luke Cage to go out and apprehend villains under the sanctioned work for the U.S. government, for the city of New York, I should say. They are government workers, but it's more for the city of New York. But anyway, so let's get started with this story. So, for those also wondering who this team is for this Thunderbolts team, the lineup is Hawkeye is the leader. We have Spectrum, who is Monica Rambeau. We have, of course, our main character in this story, Persuasion, and we have we have America Chavez, and a new character named Gustin Glory, and another character called Egro, this little monster. So that's our team right there. It's a little 6-person team for this Thunderbolts team. Anyway, so the Thunderbolts are out on a mission, and that mission is stopping the Rhino. And Rhino is just going through people, is just fighting his way through the team until Persuasion is like, enough, stop. And he's like, he's not listening. And he's like, and Persuasion's like, that's impossible. When I tell someone when I order them to, or say something to do something to someone, they usually stop. Like, it's like they have to obey me. Like, that's the power. And Rhino's about to take her out, but as Persuasion is like looking at Rhino as he's about to just pummel her into the ground, she sees that his eyes are like already like in this like purple light to them, and she's like, no way. And that's when Hawkeye shoots like a sleep dart into Rhino's neck, and it like just knocks him out. And he's like, and Clint is like, what was that all about? Like, how did that happen? You should, like, that shouldn't. When you say stop, that, or like your voice has that power on people. And Persuasion's like, yeah, I know, that's like, I don't know what's going on, but when I looked in Rhino's eyes, all I saw was just kind of this purpleness to him, and yeah, that means someone else was controlling Rhino. And they're like, excuse me? And she's like, yeah, there's someone else out there, and it could be my father. And he's like, wait, isn't your father dead? And they're like, yeah, but how many times has he escaped death before? And they're like, shit, you're right. So they're already like, oh shit, has someone brought Zebediah Kilgrave back from the dead, or has he come back from the dead, or has someone cloned him? And they're just kind of running through all the possibilities. Persuasion is already like, this can't be possible. He's gone. What else is there? And that's when they're talking this over with Luke Cage. Like, they're kind of discussing like the possibility of like Kilgrave still out there, and he's like, yeah, that could be the case, or I kill you all here. And they're like, what? And that's when Luke Cage just suddenly attacks all of them, and again, it's that there's this purpleness to his eyes, and that's when she's like, oh shit, Kilgrave already got Persuasion's like already got to him, and his influence is like outclassing hers. So the team has to like, Persuasion tells the team, don't listen, listen, you only listen to me. And they're like, okay, we'll only listen to you. But at the same time, Gustin Glory, the cyborg super soldier, is like, you don't, my audio receptor kind of bounced you out. Why did you do that to the rest of the team? And she's like, it was the only way to keep the rest of the Thunderbolts from being controlled by Kilgrave. And she's like, yeah, of course it would be your father that would do something like this, right? It would be someone like your father who would. And can you be certain of that? And she's like, I don't know. That's why we have to figure this out now. Like, that's why we have to investigate this situation at once. There's no other way to go around it other than we need to figure this out. And I can only do that is by controlling the team. And he's like, and there's like, yeah, you realize, and that's when Clint goes, yeah, you realize this was a really bad idea. And she's like, what? You're supposed to be I'm supposed to be leading the team. He's like, yeah, I switched off my hearing aids so I don't hear whoever is doing this. If it is Kilgrave, I switched off my hearing aids so I don't have to hear their voice. And what you just did, Persuasion, was really not okay. I know, you didn't have enough faith in your team to fight it off, and there's no fighting off one of our own's one of my father's influence. It's that powerful that it's overshadowing mine, so we have to figure out a way to stop it. So the team has to go investigate who is behind this, and they do some serious digging, and it turns out Clint is kind of piecing together that whoever is doing this, it's not Kilgrave. It's someone else with that kind of power, and that's when Persuasion is like, oh shit, I know what's going on. It's another one of Kilgrave's kids. Sure enough, it's a sibling that they didn't know, another older sibling of Kilgrave. In fact, one of his first kids from one of his first sexual assault victims, who is taking on the moniker of the Purple Man, and he's like, oh, my name is Zachary Kilgrave. I'm here to kill you. And he's like, yeah, I'm talking you were I thought it would be fun to be the new Purple Man because having this our father secretly groomed me to take on the mantle, and that's why he kept you away from the other kids. He used me as a backup plan to, take you out when time came for it. But seeing as though you're kind of being a bit of a bitch here, I figured I'd have all your friends kill you. And that's when Hawkeye, at this point, is just kind of like, nope. And he's like, oh, stop, please. And he's like, stopping? He's like, shoot the arrow into your teammate's head. He's like, okay. Psych! Psych! I had my hearing off. And he's like, what? And takes him out with a net arrow that shocks him and takes him down. And Persuasion is just like, you could have been so much better than what our father wanted us to be. I protected the rest of us, I tried our best to protect the rest of the siblings, and you wanted to destroy all that just because you wanted to be like a man who doesn't give a damn about us. Why would you even do that? And he's like, doesn't matter. I was just you think I did this in our father's name? Yeah, he groomed me to be the next Purple Man, but I wanted to be my own Purple Man. And he's like, all right, so you can go serve in prison like the Purple Man. And she goes off, and they send him off by the end of the story. But at the end of it, he's just kind of thinking, yeah, I'm going to take out the Thunderbolts. So there you go, guys. That is Thunderbolts Study in Purple. I'd like to thank Lamont Benson for this story. I did a little alter a bit, but I really liked Jim Zub's Thunderbolts book, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to add all of them. But yeah. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Comment below, let me know. And once again, thank you, Lamont Benson, for this continued patronage. And other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.